God says, I've got something huge for you. A secret to deep calm no one else is talking about. This could change everything about how you feel today. Don't pass over this message. It's too important. Now come in close. Just for these next short moments, a soft sound has been sinking into the room where you are at this moment. It's softer than the news pinging on your phone. Quieter than that old argument still running in your head. Less harsh than the alarm from this morning that still lingers inside you. This isn't the noisy solution the world keeps offering. It's not the big response your problems seem to yell for. It's not the borrowed assurance from someone who speaks louder. It's like a breath, like a cool night breeze coming through a window you forgot you left open. Before our time together here finishes, let me show your heart why the quiet around your prayer hasn't meant I've been away. And let me place in your hand a simple truth I shared in a borrowed room the night before everything broke apart. A truth made to give you a kind of peace the world has never been able to create. Stay near, there's no rush here in this room. The peace I offer doesn't depend on the noise you're leaving behind. I see you. For years, your ear has been trained to pick up the bad news first. And you've stopped noticing how much that kind of listening costs you. A wife sits at her kitchen table, her second coffee now cold. Her phone is faced down because every alert has been bringing news she didn't want. There's a father 2 doors down from her, who hasn't heard his own thoughts in months because his home's noise level hasn't allowed any quiet to land long. She is not hidden from me. Enough to settle. An older man keeps the TV on in the next room even when he's reading because the empty house since his wife passed has been roaring in a way only widows truly. A young woman has fallen asleep with headphones in for 7 nights straight because silence has started to feel louder than the podcast she uses to block it out. Understand. A nurse has started to flinch at the soft buzz of her pager before she even reads it. The single mother working 2 jobs hears her own name yelled across the apartment in tones she never used before she was this tired. A grandfather has started answering questions no one in the room actually asked. Because what's rattling inside his own head has grown louder than the conversation at the table. Your body has been ready for the next hit. For so many seasons that even quiet rooms now feel suspicious, as if calm itself were a trick the world was about to snatch. None of those rooms are hidden from me. Away. That constant bracing has not gone unnoticed by me in heaven. I'm not impatient about how long it's taking for your ear to relax. Instead, I feel tenderness rising in me. A child whose nerves have been on high alert for too many years doesn't need a louder father. That child needs a father whose voice arrives quieter than the static on purpose, so the strained listening can finally rest. So I am turning the volume of my words down for these next few minutes. Not because my word has become smaller, but because the listener has become worn out. And a worn-out listener can only take in what doesn't add to the noise. Breathe in slowly through your nose, then release through your mouth. Just one to start. Notice that the exhale comes out a little rough the first time. That's years of shallow breath stuck at the back of your throat. Now another slower. Let this out. Breath last a little longer than the in-breath. Your body isn't being asked to do anything special. It's being asked to remember a rhythm it knew before the alarm started. That lengthening happening on its own without you even trying is what the body does when it senses a presence the mind had been pushing away. Realizing something is happening runs deeper than just thinking about it. Your insides have been waiting for the room to get quiet enough for it to notice. Why has the answer to your prayer felt missing? It's not because nothing was sent. My reply has been coming on a frequency your ear was no longer tuned to hear. You've been waiting for a shout, a show, a headline-worthy rescue. And all the while a steady, soft sound has been moving through the quiet parts of your week. A small kindness from a stranger on a tough afternoon. A song that hit exactly the note you needed. An hour awake past midnight that brought one short sentence you haven't been able to forget. None of those were accidents. Each was the same voice you've been trying to hear. Dressed in whatever way the moment needed, the voice didn't stop. Your listening was changed by years of getting ready for the wrong kind of answer. Somewhere along your path, you were taught that calm was something you had to earn by making all the noisy things in your life quiet first. The teaching went something like this. Once the diagnosis is clear, then the rest will come. Once the job comes through, then the rest will come. Once the relationship is fixed, then the rest will come. Once the child finally calls, then the rest will come. So, you've been waiting at the window of every situation, watching for things to clear up, sure that when they did, calm would just walk in by itself. Things haven't cleared up, calm hasn't walked in. Quietly, you've been deciding that the failure must be yours. That is not what I have ever offered. That has never been what I have offered. The idea of my closeness you've been holding in your heart. A delicate thing that depends on how your life is going. A soft quiet easily broken by the next ringing phone. A calm only the lucky get to keep was drawn by hands that were never mine. Some of those hands meant well and were simply passing on the small idea of God they had received. Others used your reliance on circumstances to keep you pushing. Because a believer who thinks she has to fix her situation before resting is a believer who will work without stopping. Each source gave the same misleading picture. And that picture has been costing you years of real closeness with me. Slide it face down on the side table. I will tell you how my calm actually shows up and in what kind of room. What I am offering is not the quiet that comes after the storm. It is the quiet that comes during the storm. The world's version needs things to go right, mine doesn't. The world's version is a roof that works only on dry days. Mine is a roof that works in the rain. The world's version is what you feel once the bills are paid. The doctor's report improves. The child returns home. Mine is what you can carry while the bills are still unpaid. The diagnosis is still unsure. The child is still gone. That is the whole difference. That is what the night I spoke this word was all about. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. Faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation, and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. Soften your gaze and pause here for a moment. Don't stare at any one thing. Let the soft edges of the room come back into view. The corner you usually don't look at. The patch of light on the floor you've stopped noticing. The small empty space between two pieces of furniture. Soft attention isn't lazy attention. Soft attention is what lets a presence be felt without your eyes having to chase it. Your eyes have been focused on the loud parts of your life for so long they've forgotten how to take in the gentle parts. Let them have 3 breaths of unfocused looking. A voice arriving in the room doesn't need eye contact. It only needs you to be willing to stop grabbing at the world for a moment. I want to tell you about a night when I gave my calm in the worst situation I had ever experienced as a man. You might have heard parts of it before. Let me give you the whole evening slowly. So the sentence I left in the middle of it will land in your hand with the importance it had when I first said it. A long low table, bits of bread on a cloth, a few cups not yet put away, 12 men around me whose eyes have started to dart at each other because something in my picture a borrowed room above a courtyard in a city that was packed for the celebration. Voice has changed in the last hour. They can't name what's different, they just feel it. Candles on the side are burning low, a window is open to the night air. Somewhere in the street below, soldiers are already being gathered who don't yet know whose face they will arrest before morning. They didn't know yet that I was going to be betrayed in the next few hours. They didn't know yet that one of their own would walk down the stairs to show the guards where I was. They didn't know yet that the rest of them would run into the dark. That the loud one would say he didn't know my name 3 times before the rooster crowed. That my body would be hung on a Roman cross the next afternoon for everyone they loved to watch. They didn't know any of that. They only felt like a person feels coming rain, that the night was about to take a turn none of them were ready for. I looked around the table at 12 faces about to be shattered. I didn't flinch from what was coming for them. I didn't make it sound softer or easier to hear. I told them clearly that I was leaving, that our time walking together was about to end in a way none of them had imagined. And then, right in the middle of the most frightening sentence I had spoken to them in 3 years, I left them a gift. Hear what I told them. John 14:27, Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. Sit beside me at that table for a moment, don't rush past the sentence. More life lives inside it than a quick raid will let out. Listen first to the verb leave. Not describe to you, not promise to you for the future. Not give to you once your situation gets better. Leave. A leaving is what a person hands over right before walking out the door. A leaving is final. A leaving is yours to keep after the giver has gone. What I was setting on that table was not a promise to be claimed later. It was something being handed over right then. In a room with breadcrumbs and lamplight into hands that were about to face the worst night of their lives. The gift was being handed over before the trouble arrived. The gift was meant to be carried into the trouble, not waited for on the other side of it. My peace I give to you. Read the word my. It shows ownership. It's specific. Not just any calm. Not the rest anyone can get by breathing well or paying for the right retreat. Mine. What had been helping me through every argument with the powerful, every accusation from the religious, every quiet, sleepless hour I had spent praying alone outside the city, that the same calm I had been wearing through every public moment of my work, I was taking it out from deep inside myself and handing it across the table to 12 men who were about to need it more than they had ever. The calm that lives inside me, the sun needed, did anything. The gift wasn't just an idea, it was proven. It had survived everything that had come at it. It was being given away completely. Not as the world gives due, I give to you. Read those words slowly. Worldly calm is a payment for things going well. Pay the bill and you get the receipt and the worry leaves. Solve the problem and you earn the rest. Get the right outcome and your nervous system finally relaxes. That kind of giving is like a trade. It depends on things working out. The moment things change, what the world gave you disappears. Every calm the world has ever sold you has come with an expiration date on it. You have known this in the quiet hours. You've gotten through one storm only to find the next storm was already at the door, and your strength was gone again. My giving is different. My giving doesn't depend on things going well. My giving arrives whole into a hand that is still holding the bills, still waiting for the test result, still missing the person who hasn't come back. Whatever you've been told you had to fix first to deserve rest, let that requirement go. What I am offering doesn't run on that kind of fuel. It runs on my word which I have been speaking over your life since before you even knew my name. The supply comes from the giver, not from what's happening in your life. As long as I am giving, the supply doesn't run out no matter what the room looks like. Let not your hearts be troubled. Hear the verb again. Not your hearts will not be troubled, not the trouble will not arrive. Let not is an invitation, not a promise. Trouble will arrive. That very night the disciples were going to be terrified within 18 hours. And I wasn't pretending otherwise. The invitation was to refuse to let trouble run things by itself. You can feel the fear in your chest and still not let it decide your next move. You can carry a worry through the day and still not let it set the mood. You bring to the people around your table, let not as the small daily refusal. Trouble can be at the door. You decide whether it gets the best seat at the table. Neither let them be afraid. The second invitation is woven into the first. Fear is allowed to visit. Fear is not allowed to stay. It can pass through your day the way a cold wind passes through a room with an open window. The invitation is not to invite the wind to move in. Not to give it the chair beside your bed, not to let it sleep at the foot of your heart every night. Most of you have been hosting fear like a permanent guest, because no one told you had the power to keep it as a brief visitor instead. You do. What I left on that table is that power. Hand the visitor its coat. Gently walk it to the door. As I once spoke softly to a tired prophet hiding inside a cave on the side of a mountain. I was not in the wind that split the rocks. I was not in the earthquake that shook the ground. I was not in the fire that burned the brush. I came after in a still small voice. He had been waiting for a big show. He thought rescue would come as loudly as the threat. It didn't. It arrived at the opposite volume. The still small voice was the answer. That is the voice that came back into the borrowed room the night before everything broke. And that is the voice arriving in the room where you are sitting now. Look back at the promise I made when this message started. I told you the quiet around your prayer hasn't been the silence of a father who has gone away. Because no one ever taught you in a way your body could truly feel that the deepest answer heaven sends to a scared soul doesn't arrive on the same frequency. Here is your answer. The alarm uses. Alarm shout my answer comes quietly. Alarms demand certainty by morning. My answer makes friends with not knowing. Alarms demand a clear answer you can hold in your hand. My answer gives you something you can carry in your heart no matter how the morning goes. The quiet has been the answer. The soft voice has been the gift. You have been listening on the wrong channel for a long time. Before we go further, if you feel this truth settling in your spirit, hit that like button right now. Liking this video will activate the flow of God's favor in your life. Don't just watch, engage, and let heaven move on your behalf. Just now, as you stand at this turning point, I invite you to declare your shift. Type Amen in the comments below as a sign that you are choosing to listen on the right frequency. Let it be the bold statement that you are no longer waiting for a shout, but receiving the quiet gift that has already been given. As you write it, feel the old channel closing and the still small voice becoming your new home. And stay with me until the very end, because we'll be closing with a final breath that seals this piece deeper inside you. And while you're at it, share this prophetic word with someone you love. Sharing this will activate the anointing and share that breakthrough with your network. If a single phrase here is settling into a warm place inside you, write one word in the commenced piece. Let it be a quiet mark planted in the soul that finally send it to a friend who needs to hear that the quiet is the answer, not the silence of an absent God. Heard a softer voice. Pinned above the video is a small set of 7 short letters, one for each of your coming mornings, delivered to your inbox. The moment a quiet yes opens the door, take them. The next time trouble enters your room, and fear starts climbing into the chair beside you, and it will, because that visitor has known your address for many seasons, pause and say one short sentence. So here is something small to carry with you into the rhythm of the week. Quietly to yourself. Peace I leave with you. Speak it gently, don't raise your voice. Don't argue with the visitor, simply repeat the line. The line isn't yours to invent. It's one I left on a table long ago, and it still works in every room since. Add one beat to the practice when you have space for it. After speaking the line, don't rush forward. Linger inside the sentence for one slow breath. Most listeners hurry past the easing because easing has been an unfamiliar feeling for too many years. Stay in that feeling for a while. Let your shoulders relax into the knowledge that what is being given to you is the very calmness the giver wore through his own most terrible evening. If it held him, then it will hold you now a third beat gentler than the first two. When you notice that the trouble has actually lessened a bit, and it often will sooner than you expect, resist the urge to take credit. Let a small thank you barely leave your lips in whatever voice the room allows. One no one else has to hear. Such a small thank you teaches your nervous system to recognize the giver the next time the gift arrives. Recognition matters. What I give returns more easily where it knows it will be welcomed. Your first try might pass almost unnoticed. Your 10th might still feel like a routine. A body that has been on guard for many seasons cannot let go of that posture in a single afternoon. By the 30th round, however, you will catch fear approaching and notice that its climb is slower than before. By around 50, you will be partway through a hard morning and remember the line from that supper before worry has filled the entire room. By around 100, you will check your heart and find that what I gave that night has been quietly carried into rooms you didn't plan for. Your commute, the kitchen. The moment after the difficult phone call, the calm keeps doing what calm does. You have simply been learning to feel it. For the one whose worry has been so constant that their medical records now show a diagnosis, hear me clearly. What I am offering is not a replacement for the medicine your doctor prescribed. The chemistry I built into the human body sometimes needs a little help from outside, like a knee sometimes needs a brace. What I am giving moves through the calm the medication creates as easily as through any other doorway. Take the pill, pick up the gift. The two are not enemies. They have always been allowed to work in the same room. For the one whose home has been noisy in ways that have nothing to do with sound, a partner who has gone silent, a teenager who slams the door, a parent whose disappointment fills the room without a single word being spoken. Hear this, too. What I gave at that supper can sit at the kitchen table with you while your home stays exactly as noisy as it has been. You don't have to wait for the others to soften before the gift lands in your seat. It is yours individually first. As your chair grows quieter, the others will slowly notice the change, but noticing is up to them, and they can take whatever time it takes. Your seat is the only one you can settle. Settle it. The household will slowly get used to the new quiet. If your trouble is about money, bills that don't add up, a job that might not last, an industry changing faster than you can keep up, hear this also. I am not promising the numbers will fix themselves by the weekend. I am promising that what I gave is available, even when the numbers haven't worked out yet. You can sit at the same kitchen table with the same stack of bills and feel a different weight in your shoulders. Not because the bill shrunk, but because the one who handed his own calm across his own worst night is sitting on the other side of the table with you. Pass the worry across. He has been waiting for you to set it down so he can pick it up. A word also for the one whose body has been waking before the sun with their heart already pounding before there's anything in the room to worry about. Your nervous system learned that habit because in some earlier time being alert was truly necessary. The habit has outlasted the danger that created it. I am gentle with that habit. I am not asking you to scold your body for keeping its old promise. I am asking your body in a softer voice than the alarm it carries whether it would consider trusting me to do the watching for one breath and the next. Retraining is slow. Retraining is real. I am the patient kind of teacher. For the parent praying for an adult child whose life has started to make you sleepless, hear this as well. What I left at that supper can be carried by you on behalf of the child who has not yet learned to carry it themselves. Your prayer for them does not come back empty. Even when their situations look unchanged, what you receive in your chair is one of the ways the gift eventually reaches theirs. Steady your seat. The young one is being watched over by a guard who does not sleep. And your own calm seat is part of that watch. To the one whose grief has been long enough that other people have stopped asking how it's going. Hear me, what I am offering does not require your grief to end first. Grief and rest can live in the same heart. You can cry and be held in the same hour. The two are not fighting each other. Many of my most loved sons and daughters through the centuries learned this exact gift precisely because grief had made enough space inside them for it to land. The emptiness was not a defeat, it was the cup that finally had room to be filled. Here one more word for a listener currently going through a time of unusual ease. Bills paid, home calm, body cooperating. Ease is its own kind of container with its own kind of risk. An easy time can quietly convince your soul that what I give depends on how things are going. It doesn't. Ease at this moment is a separate gift, and it is not the same thing as what I gave that night. Practice the line in this easy time anyway, peace I leave with you. Practicing in the calm hour trains the muscle that must know the line in the noisy hour that will eventually come for everyone. The gift itself travels. Take it with you into changing weather. Repeat the mantra one more time as a friend leaves a true sentence at the doorway on the way back out into the evening. The peace I give does not depend on the noise you are leaving behind. Carry it into the quiet corners of your coming days like someone carries a small lamp down a long hallway. Whisper it at the red light. Press it gently against your chest when the news lands badly. Speak it under your breath when the home grows loud and your own chair starts to wobble. It stays true whether or not your senses can confirm it in the moment. A gift handed at that supper does not need your approval. A substance handed by the sun does not need your watch. Both have been mine to give, and mine to give means given forever. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our COEF community, by doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. As now, before we close, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel. Subscribing will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life. Don't miss the next word heaven wants to send your way. Hit that subscribe button now. And one more time, share this prophetic word with your network. Sharing this will activate the anointing and share that breakthrough with everyone connected to you. Send it to a family member, a sea worker, or a friend who is waiting for a sign that God hasn't forgotten them. Us. And now, as you prepare to carry this peace into the rest of your day, I invite you to seal it with a declaration in the comments below. Write exactly these words. My peace is secured. Not I hope to find peace. Not maybe I will feel it later, but a confident statement that what I have given is already yours as you write. You are acknowledging that it has already been handed to you across that supper table, and it is yours to carry into every room you enter and draw one more slow. Feel the certainty settle in your chest. You are not asking for peace. Breath in through your nose. Hold for a moment at the top. Send it back out through your mouth, making the exhale longer than the inhale. A long exhale tells your body that no hit is coming. It tells your ribs that the one who handed his own calmness across his own most terrible evening has not left his seat. A long exhale is perhaps the smallest amen anyone can offer, and it reaches heaven with the same power as any spoken prayer has ever carried. A pair of those breaths will gently bring you back into the rest of the hours you stepped out of when you settled in to listen. You will be a little different walking back. Your surroundings will be the same. The gift will be the same. Only your chest returning will have grown softer, because it will at last have recognized what was being handed over all along. Amen. Should anything here have settled where the bracing has been loudest, a small set of 7 brief letters is already prepared in the pinned spot below. One greeting each of your coming mornings delivered the instant a quiet consent lifts the gate. Take them. Forward this to someone whose ear has been straining for an answer at the wrong volume. Tap subscribe so the next word reaches your feed before the old alarm starts to talk first. What I left on that supper table was never meant to be received alone. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry. When Jesus says, "Give and heaven will open over you," on this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall, share your heart. And as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens open. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. A place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.